Tesla's humanoid robot just crossed a line that nobody expected it to reach this fast. The movement is smoother, the hands are more precise, and the next version is being designed so that people might not immediately recognize it as a machine. This is what Tesla's Optimus program looks like right now, and where it's heading next. From prototype to factory floor, the jump from the earliest Optimus prototypes to where the program sits today was not incremental. What followed across the next 2 years was a compression of development that even people closely watching the robotics industry found difficult to keep up with. Optimus Gen 2 was lighter by approximately 10 kilograms compared to its predecessor, and corrects mid-stride started to look less like a program sequence and more like a body making continuous small adjustments in real time. The hands changed most significantly. Early Optimus hand designs offered around 11 degrees of freedom. Newer builds report over 20 degrees of freedom in the hand alone, meaning each finger moves with more independence. The thumb opposes more naturally, and the grip can transition between delicate and firm without a separate command. Tesla added tactile sensing across the fingertips and palm. The robot can detect pressure and adjust grip force in real time. In demonstrations, it has handled an egg without cracking it and then switched immediately to gripping a tool. That transition is the kind of thing that looks simple and is extraordinarily hard to engineer reliably. The software is the real story. The hardware improvements matter. The software is what actually changes the category the robot competes in. Tesla is feeding Optimus the same neural network training architecture it built for autopilot. Rather than hard-coding every movement as a fixed instruction sequence, Tesla records humans performing tasks, labels the video data, and trains the model to replicate and then generalize from those recordings. The robot learns from observing human action rather than being programmed with explicit rules for every situation it might encounter. This approach has a significant compounding effect. Every hour a robot spends on a factory floor generates more labeled training data. That data improves the model. The improved model is pushed to every unit in the fleet overnight. The next morning, every robot performs slightly better at every task it has encountered. Put 10 robots on a production line, and the learning rate multiplies across all 10 simultaneously. In 2024 and 2025, Tesla moved this training process onto actual factory floors. Optimus units have been running inside Tesla's Fremont facility for over a year. In early 2026, Tesla planned to expand training data collection to its Austin Gigafactory. The factory environment is deliberate. It provides repeatable, consistent tasks that generate high-quality labeled data at a rate no controlled lab environment can match. By 2024, Tesla had confirmed 2 autonomous Optimus units working inside one of its facilities. The number is small. The significance is the environment, not a demonstration, not a curated test scenario, but a real production setting where the tasks change slightly every day and the robot has to handle variation. What Gen 3 is designed to do, the next design stage of Optimus, is not primarily about performance, it's about perception. Elon Musk has said publicly that the coming Optimus version 3 will be polished enough that some people, at first glance, might think they are looking at a person in a suit. The joints will be hidden under cleaner external covers. The lines of the body will be smoother. The hands and fingertips will be softened visually. The visible mechanical structure that makes current Optimus immediately identifiable as a robot will be progressively concealed. This is not purely aesthetic. It is a calculated trust engineering decision. People adopt technology faster when it looks and moves in ways that feel familiar. A robot that looks like industrial equipment prompts caution and distance. A robot whose proportions and movement patterns match human expectations prompts a different response. People interact with it more naturally and accept it into their environment more readily. The challenge this creates is the uncanny valley. There is a well-documented psychological effect where objects that look almost but not quite human produce discomfort rather than familiarity. The closer something gets to human appearance without crossing the threshold, the more unsettling it becomes. Tesla's design target is the space just before that threshold, human-like movement and proportions that feel natural, without making the viewer confused about what they're looking at. According to sources familiar with the program's direction, Tesla is actively exploring the development of a robotic skin, a flexible covering that could give the robot a surface that resembles human skin in texture and appearance, while also incorporating sensors. Such a skin would need to be flexible enough to move with joints, durable enough to withstand constant use, resistant to heat, and capable of embedding pressure and temperature sensing throughout its surface. The engineering difficulty of this is significant. Flexible sensor-embedded skin that can survive the mechanical demands of a working robot and maintain its appearance across thousands of cycles of movement doesn't exist as a commercial product yet. The technology exists in laboratory demonstrations, but scaling it to a full-size humanoid at production cost is an unsolved problem. Whether Tesla can solve it first is an open question. That they are working on it is, according to multiple signals from inside the program, no longer speculative. The numbers behind the ambition Tesla's production targets for Optimus are ambitious to the point of sounding implausible until you look at the manufacturing logic behind them. Musk has outlined a phased production ramp, several thousand robots built internally first, then manufacturing lines capable of approximately 1,000 units per month, scaling to 10,000 per month, then 100,000 per month. He has also acknowledged the constraint that makes these timelines uncertain. New supply chains for components that have never been produced at scale before make ramping agonizingly slow, regardless of demand. On price, Musk has indicated Optimus should eventually cost less than half the price of a car, implying a target in the range of $20,000 to $25,000 at production scale. That number reframes the competitive landscape entirely. Single-purpose industrial robot arms frequently sell for comparable or higher prices and require custom installation, safety caging, and dedicated integration work. A mobile, vision-guided humanoid that can operate in an existing human-designed space at that price point would be accessible to small businesses, clinics, warehouses, and eventually households that have never been able to justify fixed automation investment. The compute requirement is also worth understanding. Musk has said the inference compute needed for Optimus is approximately 10 times what Tesla requires for its vehicle fleet. That figure communicates the complexity of general-purpose physical intelligence compared to the already demanding task of vehicle navigation. Hands that can grip, rebalance, and adapt to unexpected surface textures while a body is simultaneously maintaining balance on an uneven floor, that is a harder problem than self-driving by a significant margin. The feedback loop AS product, the detail that separates Tesla's Optimus program from most of its competitors, is not any single hardware specification. It is the learning loop itself as a product architecture. Most robotics companies build a robot and then train it. Tesla is building a robot specifically designed to generate training data at scale in real working environments, improve the model on that data, and push the improvements back to every unit in the fleet simultaneously. The factory deployments are not just proof of concept demonstrations, they are data generation infrastructure. This means the value of the system compounds over time, in a way that fixed capability robots do not. A conventional industrial arm performs the same task at the same level of capability indefinitely. An Optimus unit performing the same task today will perform it better in a month, because every unit in the fleet has contributed to improving the shared model. The more units deployed, the faster the shared model improves, and the wider the capability gap between Optimus and any competitor that doesn't operate the same architecture. Musk has said Optimus could eventually represent more value than Tesla's car and energy businesses combined. That claim is only coherent if you accept the premise that a robot which learns continuously and improves its own capability through deployment is a fundamentally different product category from any previous robot one, where the floor of performance at launch is far less important than the trajectory of improvement over time. What comes next, and why it matters the near-term trajectory for Optimus, is clear even if the exact timing isn't. More units inside Tesla facilities, more training data, cleaner external design in the Gen 3 generation, progressive concealment of mechanical structure, potential early external sales with limited production runs before wider commercial availability. The use cases that will land first are deliberately unglamorous material handling, line feeding, parts inspection, carrying boxes between locations. Tasks that are dull, physically repetitive, and performed in structured environments where the robot's current limitations matter least. First wins will be boring on purpose. That's how the trust infrastructure gets built before the system is asked to do harder things in less structured settings. The longer arc points toward homes, service environments, and eventually general-purpose assistance in settings that haven't been redesigned for automation. A robot that can navigate a human environment, handle objects of varying size and fragility, respond to spoken instruction, and improve its own performance overnight is not a product any previous decade of robotics could have delivered. The distance between where Optimus started and where it is heading in the next generation is not small. And the distance between the next generation and the one after that will be smaller still, because the learning loop that generates the improvement accelerates as the fleet grows. The machine that looked like a person in a suit in 2022 is starting to move like one. The version after next might briefly be mistaken for one. What it actually is a system that learns from every shift it works and gets better overnight is something new altogether.